Part 15. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 141. I don't know how much time has passed, but the live broadcast room that was previously silent also exploded again. I'm really convinced. I'm really afraid of what will happen. I'm most afraid of this kind of thing. How can I get this by watching an entertainment live broadcast? I was almost scared to death just now. Can the cameraman please move the camera away? That's right, I know it's exciting, but please, cameraman, please stop giving the camera to that dead man. I was so scared that I almost peed. Damn, I was in class just now. Do you know the social feeling of shouting out in front of the whole class? Next step, the zombie Taoist priest, let Yang Lin take the photo. He is professional in this. Damn, I woke up from my nap so hard that I actually dreamed that a dead person was resurrected. Just go back to sleep. Hurry up and tell me that what just happened is not true. I would like to call Yang Lin the number one person in rehabilitation. He has resurrected all the dead. Are you sure this is alive? Isn't it a fake corpse? As a Xiangzi person, I admit that my DNA has been affected just now. So the series of operations that Yang Lin performed just now were neither an act of transcendence nor a rescue of people, but an exorcism of corpses, right? This thing of corpse extermination actually exists. It shocked my mother for 100 years. Isn't this strange? It is said that in our hometown there was a professional exhumer in the past, who specialized in bringing those who died in a foreign land back to their hometown for burial. Uncle Ying will not deceive me. There are always people who show off traditional culture in the name of making movies. How the hell is this done? What kind of scientific principles are there to support it? Not everything can be explained by science. While everyone in the live broadcast room was talking about it, all the police officers present had strange faces at the moment. They have also handled many cases, but they will never see one like today in 8 lifetimes. However, they were considered well informed. After scanning the deceased and Yang Lin successively, they finally plucked up the courage and said to Yang Lin, "Taoist master, can we let the deceased lie down first? The impact of this is really bad. The dead are the most important." After hearing this, Yang Lin nodded immediately. Then he gently shook the bell in his hand. The deceased, who was standing in front of the car, obediently lay back to his original place. After the deceased lay down, the policeman very considerately found him a piece of white cloth and covered him up. Seeing this scene, the onlookers, whose faces turned green with fright, also breathed a long sigh of relief. "Daozang Yang, what happened just now? Can you explain it clearly? I'm a little confused right now." The leading old policeman slowly spoke after taking a deep breath. After hearing his words, everyone present focused their attention on Yang Lin again. Obviously they were also very curious about what happened just now. How did Yang Lin make the already dead man stand up again and still walk? Under everyone's expectant gaze, Yang Lin finally told the reason. Actually, there is no need to be afraid. The dead cannot be resurrected, and there are no ghosts or gods in this world. What Pandeo used just now was the corpse exorcism technique in the Taoist Zuyuk. It is also one of the many secret techniques of the Taoist section. It is not a magic trick or a profound skill. Of course, in addition to the Taoist corpse exorcism technique, Miao Jiang's witchcraft and Gu technique can do this, and they use a special kind of parasite. Although Yang Lin was explaining very carefully, the expressions of everyone who listened to his explanation did not become relaxed at all. Strange and mysterious words kept popping up in their minds. There are no ghosts and gods in this world. Zuyuk, the art of exorcising corpses. It's not a profound skill. The art of witchcraft and Gu in Miao border. What is this all about? If Yang Lin hadn't demonstrated it to them personally, they would have started spraying by now. On the contrary, Yang Lin's fans in the live broadcast room couldn't help but become excited at this moment. It's really a corpse exorcism technique, I know it. Sixth is not good. What kind of miraculous artist is this? Not only can he do autopsies, but he can also drive away corpses. It's really cool to have an idol who can chase corpses, okay. Talent can be unpopular, but it cannot be unpopular. Those idols who can sing and dance rap are really inferior. As for the real unique talent, it is Yang Lin. I would like to call Yang Lin a two player in the entertainment industry, and he must be chosen if he is not a band player. I just said let Yang Lin play the role of the new zombie Taoist priest. He will play the Taoist priest, and two random dead people can be found to play zombies. Stop calling other artists all-powerful artists from now on. Please, you don't even know how to drive corpses. What do you call all-powerful artists? Excuse me, where can I find talents with this kind of technology? After I die, I want to travel around the Dragon Kingdom because I don't have time when I am alive. I have decided that from now on, we fans of Yang Lin will be called zombie fans. Zombies and Taoist priests are the best match. It is a violation of traffic laws to hit a living person to death. So the question is it illegal to hit a dead person to death? This issue is quite explosive in the entire legal profession. Even if you invite Mr. Logo here, Mr. Logo's CPU will be burned for half a night. Who brought such a corpse out? It's obvious that they are harming Yang Lin and the others. I have long discovered that someone is setting the pace on the internet. This is definitely not a coincidence. Just as the audience in the live broadcast room gradually realized that this matter was not simple, the police on the scene naturally also realized this. So they immediately turned their attention to the mother and son from before. The mother and son were so frightened that they stayed where they were after experiencing the deceased's resurrection. Especially the middle-aged woman, after being stunned for a while, she actually planned to leave directly with her child in her arms. Such an abnormal attitude immediately aroused the vigilance of the police, and two female police officers immediately stopped the middle-aged woman. When she was suddenly stopped by the police, the middle-aged woman panicked and hurriedly explained, "I don't know anything, I don't know anything." But at this moment, Yang Lin's voice came again. "Do you dare to swear in front of Mizu that you don't know anything?" As soon as these words came out, not only the middle-aged woman was stunned for a moment, but also the vast majority of the onlookers looked at each other. They are a fishing village, close to the sea, and almost 80% of the people make a living by fishing. Judging from the dark and chapped skin of the middle-aged woman, there is a high probability that she is also engaged in related industries. Mizu is the supreme belief for them. So after hearing Yang Lin's words, a look of embarrassment immediately appeared on her face. After struggling for a moment, she finally told the truth. "Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes." Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 142. It's like this. My man originally went out to play cards with friends this morning. But he didn't come back after he went out. Someone called me from behind and told me that my man had been hit by a passing large truck and asked me to go there quickly. With the middle-aged woman's talk, everyone finally knew the truth of the matter. The deceased was indeed not hit by the program crew, but was hit and killed by a passing vehicle a few hours ago. However, there was no surveillance at the scene of the incident, and there were no pedestrians, so we had no idea who was hit and killed. Seeing that the mainstay of her family had fallen, the middle-aged woman was already panicking. In addition, at this time, an old man passing by gave her an idea and promised her that as long as she did as he said, she would not only be able to get compensation, and you can still get a lot. As for how the old man managed to make a dead person stand up again, she didn't know. After listening to her story, the police officers present immediately looked at each other. They have received many cases of porcelain touching, but this is the first time they have encountered someone using a dead person to touch porcelain. What's more important is that this process also involves the legendary corpse exorcism technique, which makes it even more difficult for them to start. At the same time, the audience in the live broadcast room was also in an uproar. It's exactly what Yang Lin said. I knew the program team couldn't be so careless. How did you do this by using your husband's corpse to touch porcelain? There is nothing I can do. If I can't find anyone to compensate, I can only pick up a random unlucky passerby. Which of those porcelain cases is not for this reason? I have no choice but to cause harm to passersby. You are thinking too simply. Do you still think this is an ordinary porcelain case? It was just so complicated that they just happened to find Yang Lin and the others. The program crew just bumped into someone, and the public opinion on the internet started to follow. It seems like someone is deliberately targeting the program crew. To be precise, it should be Yang Lin. Sure enough, there are many famous people. There's nothing I can do. He comes in with money too quickly. It's normal for him to be bitten. He's also proficient in the art of exorcising corpses. Maybe he's a fellow traveler. In the discussion of the audience in the live broadcast room, they soon had various speculations. And what they can think of, others can naturally think of. Teacher Yang, this kind of corpse exorcism technique shouldn't be something just anyone can do, right? At the scene, the cameraman of the program team asked solemnly. Hearing his question, even the policeman looked over. The current case seemed to be solved, but it involved another traffic accident case. It would be great if we could get some clues from Yang Lin. And Yang Lin did not disappoint them. He nodded, and then said, although this corpse exorcism technique is a minor skill among the many techniques of the Taoist sect, it is not something that ordinary people can master. It's very possible that the old man is a professional corpse chaser, but generally corpse chasers rarely come to such coastal areas. Hearing this, the cameraman quickly asked again. Why do they rarely come to coastal areas? Before Yang Lin could answer, a young policeman replied. Is it because the coastal areas are hot and humid, so corpses should not be stored for a long time? As soon as his answer came out, everyone looked at Yang Lin again, as if waiting for his response. That's true, Yang Lin nodded. And now that cremation is compulsory in the country, the business of corpse chasers has long been switched to other professions. So this mysterious corpse hunter must have been invited here by someone else. If nothing else, he came specifically to target me. After hearing Yang Lin's words, everyone was immediately stunned, and at the same time they also thought of another question. The car accident that killed him. It was also arranged by that person. Although his fate was originally destined to be such a disaster, he still died because of poverty. You can find a way to contact the relevant local departments later to see if you can provide some help to the orphans and widowed mothers. Okay, let's arrange this matter with Yang Lin's analysis. The knots in the hearts of the program team members gradually unraveled. But at the same time, he couldn't help but look sympathetically at the mother and son. As for the police officers, they all looked serious. If it is really what Yang Lin said, then the nature of this matter has changed. It went from an ordinary traffic accident to an intentional killing. They immediately reported the matter to the Criminal Investigation Detachment in Jinghai. The matter should have ended here, but while the policeman was reporting the situation, Yang Lin leaned over and picked up a piece of gray hair from the deceased. At first sight, the program crew didn't quite understand what he was doing, but when they saw the hair clearly, they couldn't help but show a hint of excitement. Teacher Yang, is this the murderer's hair? Are you planning to use this hair technique to find the murderer? That would be really cool. But as soon as they finished speaking, Yang Lin looked at them speechlessly. This is indeed the hair of the corpse chaser, but when did Pandeo say that he would rely on it for the practice? Wouldn't it be more convenient to let the police uncle use it for DNA comparison? His tricks are too good for Pandeo to fight with him. However, according to Article 302 of the Longguo Criminal Code, Stealing and damaging another person's corpse has constituted the crime of insulting the corpse and can be punished with a fixed term imprisonment of not more than 3 years or criminal detention. It would be better to go to jail if you dare to harm others after learning some sorcery. As soon as he said these words, both the program team and the audience in the live broadcast room were all dumbfounded. No, I can understand him as a Taoist priest, but why would he be interested in the criminal law of the Dragon Kingdom? Tao and Dharma are not divided into families. It's very reasonable. I finally know what modernization in mission means. What a good fight. The fight is about criminal law, right? The old Taoist fighting method, proficient in thunder method, watch Pandeo kill him with thunder method. The current Taoist fighting method, proficient in criminal law, watch Pandeo find loopholes in his law and call the police to arrest him. A monk must also abide by the laws, okay. He is a monk but he is not going abroad. As long as he is in the Dragon Kingdom, he must abide by the laws of the Dragon Kingdom. I can see that Yang Lin was quite busy reading when he was on the mountain. I seriously suspect that all the Taoist classics he read were electronic versions, and he also read the criminal law. It's great. Finally, we have another idol who studies law. This way, we don't have to worry about Yang Lin having his house collapsed due to legal issues. I really recommend that today's idols learn law like Yang Lin before entering the industry. Just when everyone was shouting that it was outrageous, Yang Lin also handed over the found hair to the police, along with the portrait he drew casually. When the police uncle saw the portrait he handed over, he was stunned on the spot. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q in Love is. Chapter 143. The fact that Yang Lin was able to find a hair suspected of being a criminal suspect from the dead body was enough to make the police uncles happy. They didn't dare to ask for anything else. After all, there is no surveillance here, and there are too many people who have touched the corpse of the deceased, and the traces left have long been destroyed. But they never expected that Yang Lin could actually come up with a portrait. After being stunned for a moment, the policeman holding the portrait finally couldn't help but ask. Taoist priest, where have you seen this murderer? Hearing this question, Yang Lin shook his head without thinking. Never seen it before. Then how do you know what he looks like? Faced with such a problem, several members of the program team also cast similar doubtful glances. They have been with Yang Lin from beginning to end. There is no reason why they haven't seen the people Yang Lin has met. But at this moment Yang Lin gave them an unexpected explanation. Pandeo made a rough judgment based on some traces at the scene, the woman's statement just now, and this hair. As he spoke, he walked to a side alley and pointed at the 2 lines of footprints on the ground, one deep and one shallow, and said, "The man just now should have been standing here. Judging from the footprints, his left leg should be lame. He is about 1.65 meters tall and weighs no more than 120 pounds. And he probably likes to eat betel nuts, so his cheeks should be slightly bulging and his masseter muscles should be enlarged. Judging from this hair, he should have long-term zinc deficiency and some baldness. His fortune in the corpse removal industry is generally shallow, but his fortune is extremely strong, so his face will also be reflected. His forehead is sunken." Listening to Yang Lin's in-depth analysis, everyone's eyes gradually changed when they looked at him. Originally, they thought that Yang Lin's portrait was just pieced together based on the middle-aged woman's description, and the accuracy should not be too high. But he never expected that he combined modern science and traditional physiognomy to figure out the person's appearance. If you look at it this way, maybe that person really looks like this. When the police showed the portrait to the middle-aged woman for verification, she immediately exclaimed, "Yes, yes, yes, it was him, he was the one who asked me to do this." he was the one who made the child stand up even after his father died. If you want to arrest someone, just arrest him. Seeing the middle-aged woman's excited expression, several police officers present couldn't help but look at each other. Her performance also proved that there was nothing wrong with the portrait given by Yang Lin. It's incredible to be able to reconstruct the appearance of a criminal suspect using just one hair. After some shock, the older policeman couldn't help but ask Yang Lin. "Deoxing, may I ask what books you usually read?" Hearing this question, others also pricked up their ears. After all, they also want to know what books Yang Lin read to master such a magical skill. But Yang Lin's answer surprised them. "It's nothing. In addition to reading some Taoist classics and some traditional ancient books, Pandeo reads most suspense and mystery and criminal investigation novels. By the way, the anime from the neighboring island country is occasionally involved." Ah! No one expected that Yang Lin could read novels and cartoons. This was in stark contrast to his mysterious and serious image. Does Yang Lin also watch anime? He can't be that little boy from an island country. It's possible. I wonder what the Taoist master will think about when he watches those battle scenes, and whether he will think that the spells in them are fake. Hey, he is still a two-dimensional Taoist priest. Let me just say, the Taoist temple on the mountain is also connected to the internet. I love you even more now. But one thing is that his technique of drawing other people's faces with one hand is simply amazing. Let's see where the mysterious corpse chaser goes this time." Seeing that Yang Lin provided crucial clues, the police present quickly reported the specific situation to the Criminal Investigation Detachment. The subsequent investigation work will also be completed by them. And with Yang Lin's clues, I believe the case will be solved soon. When the deceased's body was carried into the car, the old detective also saluted Yang Lin. "Daozang Yang, thank you for your cooperation. When the suspect is arrested, we will notify you as soon as possible." After saying this, he couldn't help but show a trace of doubt on his face. "It stands to reason that, sir, you and him should have no intersection. Why would this person frame you? Did you offend him somewhere?" Hearing this question, Yang Lin just smiled slightly. How could Pandeo know? But it doesn't matter, as long as he is punished by law. If nothing happens next, we will leave first. Commander, please walk slowly. After the two exchanged pleasantries, Yang Lin and several members of the program team also left the scene in a car under the watchful eyes of onlookers. When their figures disappeared, the faces of the onlookers couldn't help but show a hint of disappointment. But what disappointed them was not that the murderer was not caught, but that the murderer was not the big star they had hoped for. Among the crowd, an old farmer wearing a straw hat and carrying 2 baskets of peaches on his shoulders had a sinister look on his face. After confirming that there was no one around, he went straight into a small alley nearby. As he took off the straw hat on his head, the shiny Mediterranean Sea below was immediately revealed. Who is this little Taoist priest? Not only did he see through my corpse exorcism technique, but he also figured out what I looked like. No, I have to ask those great monks to pay more, otherwise I will suffer a big loss this time. In addition, we must seize the time to leave Jinghai. While complaining, the ugly-faced bald old man got on a passing tricycle carrying a load of watermelons. But what he didn't notice was that a little green grasshopper, no bigger than a finger, jumped onto his hat at some point. At the same time, Yang Lin, who was sitting in the car on the other side, couldn't help but reveal a sinister smile. It is indeed that great monk. A monk can actually think of such a vicious way to deal with me. If that's the case, then it's no wonder that Pandeo is the one. As he spoke, he took out a pair of small scissors and a piece of yellow paper from his sleeves. In a few seconds, he cut out 2 small paper figures. At the same time, he did not forget to take out a pen and write a line of text on the 2 small paper figures. If you look closely, it seems to be the birth date. After he finished writing, he began to chant spells in his mouth. In the next second, one of the paper figures was thrown out of the window. The other paper man was stepped on by his shoe. As soon as he completed these operations, a bald old man fell heavily from a tricycle on a small road not far away. However, this is only the beginning. In the next few hours, he fully experienced what it means to be riddled with bad luck. So that he finally had to choose to call the police and have himself arrested. Someone in the same situation was a fat man wearing a bathrobe in a certain high-end bathing center. As soon as he stepped into the door of the private room, he was caught by a group of police officers on an anti-pornography mission. In order to escape, he jumped out of the 3-story window on the spot. As he fell, the wig on his head was flying in the wind. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 144. In the blink of an eye, the time came to evening, and Yang Lin and several members of the program team, who had been running outside all day, finally returned to the hotel. As soon as he walked into the hotel door, he spotted a familiar figure in the hotel lobby. Before he could remember where he had met this man, the middle-aged man in a suit with a good temperament took the initiative to greet him. Daozang Yang, I, Chu Haifeng, are the general manager of this hotel, and Mr. Sheng is my elder. I didn't know you were staying here before, so the reception was not good enough. To express my apology, please accept this small thought. As he spoke, he took out a black card from his pocket. This is our Marriott Black Card. As long as you take this card to any Marriott chain hotel across the country, you can enjoy the highest end services, and you can also enjoy a 40% discount on room rates. In addition, we have upgraded your room from a business suite to a presidential suite, and the fee will still be settled according to the original fee. After hearing the man's attentive words, Yang Lin finally remembered who he was. Regarding his intention, he only hesitated slightly before taking it. But while taking the black card, he said something casually. President Chu's husband and wife palace is in a state of decline. I'm afraid he and your wife have been at odds recently. As soon as Yang Lin said these words, Chu Haifeng was stunned for a moment, and then a hint of disbelief flashed in his eyes. Taoist priest, how did you know? I did have some trouble with my lover recently. She has gone back to her hometown now. That's right, and Mr. Chu, the poor Taoist temple's face is turning red. He may have been in trouble recently. However, my wife and you are destined to be married. It will be of great help to your life and career. Listen to Pandayo's advice and don't ruin your good relationship because of those superficial marriages, otherwise the gain will not be worth the loss. After saying these words with sincerity, Yang Lin stopped talking, turned around and walked towards the elevator. After Chu Haifeng hesitated for a moment, his face was filled with gratitude. Thank you, Taoist master, for your guidance. I will definitely do what you said. After expressing his inner gratitude, he quickly said loudly to a hotel manager on the side. The Taoist master must provide hospitality according to the highest standards during these days here. If you don't provide hospitality, get out of here. In addition, we will prepare a dinner for the Taoist priest immediately, and all expenses will be borne by me. When the people on the program team heard this, they knew that today's dinner was in order again. And the fact was not beyond their expectation. Half an hour later, the hotel's catering manager personally knocked on Yang Lin's door and led him to the banquet hall on the middle floor of the hotel. Before they arrived, a sumptuous banquet had been prepared. Looking around, the table was full of expensive ingredients. It was obvious that the hotel had spent a lot of money to please Yang Lin. Yang Lin didn't think anything of it. On the contrary, the eyes of the people on the show couldn't help but glow green after seeing these delicacies. As expected, it's better to follow Teacher Yang to enjoy such delicious food. Yes, what will we do if the show ends? Don't say it, now is not the time to think about this. There are only 7 of us. Wouldn't it be a waste to eat such a large table of dishes? If you don't eat the staple food, it will be over. Stop talking about it, start the broadcast, start the broadcast. The live broadcast must be on when eating a big meal. While the program crew was chattering, Yang Lin suddenly noticed 3 familiar figures at the entrance of the banquet hall. Huh? How did they get here? Shouldn't they still be setting up stalls at this point? Before he could figure out these 2 questions, the sharp-eyed photographer on the side also saw the 3 figures and immediately exclaimed. Eh? Isn't that Boss Yang, Reba, and Lu Tianxian? They are also eating here today. Are they holding birthday cakes in their hands? When you said that, I remembered that today seems to be Lu Tianxian's birthday. As soon as these words came out, they immediately turned on their mobile phones and checked online. It was finally determined that today was indeed Lu Tianxian's birthday. After understanding this, they finally knew why the 3 Boss Yangs appeared here. At this moment, Yang Lin, who had been sitting there steadily, walked directly towards the 3 of them. When he reached a position less than 10 meters away from the 3 of them, the 3 of them also noticed the presence of Yang Lin. Reba, who was standing on the far right holding Lu Tianxian's arm, even exclaimed in surprise. Yang Lin, why are you here? Are you having dinner here tonight? Or are you saying that you know that Sissy's birthday is today, so you specially booked a table here? Hearing Reba's question, Yang Lin couldn't help but smile. That's not true. I just found out about it. It's just that someone happened to invite me to dinner today. As he spoke, he looked at Lu Tianxian among the 3. Happy birthday, our table has just been served. If you don't mind, we can eat together. Suddenly hearing Yang Lin's words, the 3 of them noticed a few people from the program team waving at them not far away. Hey, that's just right. We don't have to spend any extra money. And it's lively with so many people. You guys are really extravagant. We came here to eat out because of Sissy's birthday, but you are going to eat out every now and then. Let's go and see what good food they have. As the 3 of them took their seats, the improvised birthday dinner officially began. At the same time, the audience in the live broadcast room that had just opened also learned about Lu Tianxian's birthday, and they all frantically sent happy birthday messages on the barrage. The number of people in the live broadcast room has also skyrocketed. From this, we can also see Lu Tianxian's fan base on the entire network. Lu Tianxian, who originally planned to spend his birthday in silence alone, couldn't help but be moved when he saw such a passionate scene. At the same time, Reba and Boss Yang also took out their birthday gifts. Sissy, this is a necklace I asked a French designer friend to design specifically for you. Although no gemstones or diamonds are used, the shape is unique. While talking, Reba took out a necklace that looked like the Milky Way in the sky from the box. Just as she said, the shape of this necklace is so unique and the design is also very eye-catching. As soon as he took it out, he immediately caught Lu Tianxian's attention. Boss Yang on the other side was not to be outdone when he saw this, and quickly took out a unique brooch. Sissy, this brooch was worn by Mother Zheng. It was given to me by my mother-in-law. I rarely wear it, so I gave it to you. As soon as they heard that it was brought by the mother of the country, everyone immediately showed envy. Not to mention the material and design, the meaning alone is extraordinary. After Lu Tianxian accepted the gifts from the 2 of them with a moved expression, Reba, who was sitting next to Yang Lin, cast a malicious look at Yang Lin. Hey, it's the beautiful woman's birthday, aren't you ready to show her appreciation? Whatever you mean. Hearing Reba's words, Yang Lin was stunned for a moment, and then nodded. That seems to be the case. Pandeo has nothing to give to girls. But since you all gave it away, it would be stingy for me if I didn't give something. If that's the case, just wait a moment while I go get ready. After saying that, Yang Lin left the table under the doubtful eyes of several people, and it was already more than 10 minutes later when he came back again. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 145. Among the people sitting at the table, as Yang Lin left the table, everyone couldn't help but have a trace of doubt in their hearts. Especially Reba, she originally just asked in a teasing way. But she didn't expect that Yang Lin actually ran to get ready. Sister Me, what kind of gifts do you think he went to prepare, and he has to go for such a long time? Then I don't know. Could it be that he went to a nearby shopping mall to buy it? We're already taking advantage of others, and we still need others to give us things. Isn't it not good? It's okay. The things he gave shouldn't be too expensive. When the time comes, you can feel free to accept them. Then again, is that magical elixir in his hand completely gone? Just as Reba and the other two were discussing in low voices, Yang Lin's figure appeared in front of them again. The difference from before was that there seemed to be an extra scroll in his hand at this moment. Seeing this scroll, everyone suddenly thought of something. Isn't he planning to give Sissy a painting? That's not impossible. His painting skills are so superb, and the paintings he draws must be the best among the best. Yes, Sissy also happens to like calligraphy and painting very much. I just don't know what he drew. While they were still guessing what Yang Lin was painting, he had already returned to the seat. I've kept you waiting. I haven't seen something like that for a long time, so it took me some time. But I believe you will definitely like it. As he spoke, Yang Lin slowly opened the scroll in front of everyone. But when the content on the scroll was displayed in front of everyone's eyes, everyone's expressions changed immediately. They originally thought that Yang Lin's paintings were either landscapes or rare and exotic animals. But they never expected that what was on the scroll was actually a long skirt. The whole body of the long skirt was dark black, and the black body was dotted with countless stars. Like the stars in the night sky. Even though it is painted with ink, it is still so bright and dazzling. Its style combines the ancient and modern beauty of the Dragon Kingdom, integrating dignity, elegance, maturity, and elegance. What's more important is that this long dress is a perfect match with the necklace and brooch just given by boss Reba Yang. Everyone can even imagine how amazing Lu Tianxian will look when these three things appear on him. But after the shock, everyone couldn't help but feel a little confused. Why would Yang Lin, a grown man, design such a long skirt? When everyone turned their doubtful eyes to Yang Lin also gave an explanation. This long skirt was modified by Pandeo based on the clothes worn by a fairy in charge of the Milky Way. So Pandeo named this long skirt the Milky Way. It contains 3 walls from top to bottom, namely Ziwei Yuan, Taiwei Yuan, and Tianqi Yuan. It also contains 28 constellations, a total of 1,464 stars. When Yang Lin pointed at the shiny dots on the skirt and introduced them, everyone felt confused for a while. Although they did not understand what these stars meant, they could feel a different kind of beauty from the distribution of these stars. That is no longer a simple design. In fact, this dress is more powerful than they imagined. In Yang Lin's previous life, this dress was the treasure of the Taiwei Wenqing sect of the Immortal Sect, and every star on it was smelted from a real star fragment. In the past, he had only glimpsed the saint girl of the Taiwei Wenqing sect wearing this fairy treasure-level dress from a distance at the Taoist sect's century-old grand event. And now he is replicating the Taiwei Wenqing sect's treasure on this blue star. Wow, even if Yang Lin didn't say so much, I still think this skirt is super cool. Suddenly I felt that the French designer was just average. I just said that the pattern on this skirt looks a bit familiar. It turns out to be a star chart. The meaning suddenly changed. Envy, as a girl, no one should be able to refuse to wear the Milky Way on their body. Don't think about it. The design of this skirt is incredible. If it is manufactured, it will be extremely expensive. I'm afraid it can only be done by hand. Let me tell you, if Lu Tianxian puts on this long dress, she will definitely be stunningly beautiful. It's a pity that we can't see it anymore. Even if it is produced now, it will probably take several months to produce it. Even so, it's a huge gift. While the audience in the live broadcast room was talking a lot, Lu Tianxian was also looking at the long skirt in the painting in a daze. It can be seen from her fascinated eyes that she really likes this long skirt. After a while, she finally came to her senses. Then he said with a face full of joy, "Thank you, Yang Lin, I like this design very much. This is the best design I have ever received. After the recording of the program is completed, I will find a professional team to produce it." But just when she was about to put the scroll away after expressing her gratitude to Yang Lin unexpectedly asked, "Do you want to try on this dress now?" As soon as he said these words, everyone had a look of surprise on their faces. Even Lu Tianxian looked puzzled. Reba, who was the first to react, quickly tugged on Yang Lin's sleeves and said, "Are you kidding me? You can't let Sissy wear this painting, can you? And even if we find someone to do it now, it's impossible to make such a complicated process right away." Faced with Reba's doubts, Yang Lin remained calm. "Of course it's impossible to wear the painting on your body, but I have a clever plan." The next second he walked aside amidst everyone's doubtful eyes and found a person in charge of the banquet hall. After he communicated with the person in charge of the banquet hall, the person in charge quickly left the scene. More than 10 seconds later, the originally bright banquet hall instantly turned dark. Such a sudden change immediately caused everyone dining in the banquet hall to panic. But fortunately the situation did not last long. Under everyone's gaze, a slender figure suddenly walked to the window. Everyone vaguely saw the figure cutting out a circular object on the paper with scissors. Then he casually threw the round object into the air. In an instant, the round object burst into silver light. When I looked again, I discovered that it was actually a full moon made of paper. Seeing this scene, everyone present was immediately stunned. But this is obviously not over yet. When the deserted moonlight illuminated the entire banquet hall, Yang Lin walked up to the full moon with the scroll in hand. As he opened the scroll and adjusted the angle slightly, beams of light shone through the light spots on the scroll in the next second, shining in one direction of the banquet hall. Looking in the direction of the light, everyone discovered that Lu Tianxian happened to be standing in that position. She was already shrouded in darkness because she was standing in the corner. And when those stars fell on her body, she suddenly felt like she had the entire Milky Way on her body. Such a beautiful and stunning picture instantly stunned everyone present and the audience in the live broadcast room. They never thought that Yang Lin could actually put the long skirt in the painting on Lu Tianxian. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q in Love is. Chapter 146. The huge banquet hall seemed to have pressed the mute button at this moment, and not a single sound was made. Everyone's eyes were focused on Lu Tianxian. Or maybe it was the long dress she was wearing that was made up of moonlight and stars. Even Boss Yang and Reba, who are both women, couldn't help but show envy in their eyes after seeing this scene. As the protagonist, Lu Tianxian, after the initial shock, looked at the dress on his body with disbelief. Unconsciously, there was a look of intoxication in her eyes. This is so beautiful." As she murmured, her eyes turned to the picture scroll in Yang Lin's hand. Only then did she understand what Yang Lin meant by what he just said. A trace of emotion emerged from the bottom of her heart. After a while, as Yang Lin gently put away the scroll and took off the bright moon, the lights in the banquet hall were illuminated again. In an instant, everyone in the banquet hall and the audience in the live broadcast room felt as if they were waking up from a dream. Oh my God, did that really happen? It was so beautiful. If I were Lu Tianxian, I would be moved to tears. Yeah, I didn't expect Yang Lin to present that beautiful design in such a way. Indeed, only the moonlight and starlight in the sky can perfectly restore the stars on the dress. I realized it, and I will do the same thing next time when I give a gift to my girlfriend, and I will even save money. Brother, please think carefully. The reason why Yang Lin can achieve such an effect is the design of the skirt itself and the unique thought. If you really do it like this, it will be perfunctory. That's right, his design alone is a very eye-catching design in the fashion design industry. Even if it is not made into reality, the design itself is priceless. It is conceivable that if Lu Tianxian wore such an evening dress and walked on the red carpet, she would probably outshine all the female stars in the entire Dragon Kingdom entertainment industry. Paired with the necklace given by Reba and the brooch given by Boss Yang, it's absolutely stunning. Yang Lin is indeed an all-rounder. While the audience was filled with emotion, Lu Tianxian on the other side was also expressing his gratitude to Yang Lin. I really like this gift of yours. I have never received such a special gift since I was a child, and I don't know how to thank you. Just as Lu Tianxian finished his words of thanks, Reba, who was sitting next to him, quickly added, Yang Lin, I'm going to celebrate my birthday in half a year. Hee, you can't favor one person over another. I don't want anything else, just give me a similar piece of clothing when the time comes. Although Boss Yang on the side did not speak, judging from her eager eyes, it was obvious that she was also interested. Seeing the three of them looking like this, Yang Lin immediately smiled helplessly. Don't worry, if Pandeo is still there by then, he will definitely give you a generous gift. Hearing his words, Reba's face suddenly showed a look of doubt. What do you mean you are still here? Are you planning to go somewhere? As soon as this question came out, everyone's eyes fell on Yang Lin. Boss Yang quickly added. What are your plans after this variety show is over? Should you continue to develop in the entertainment industry, or go back to the mountains to practice Taoism? Facing the two people's questions, Yang Lin thought for a while before answering seriously. Perhaps I will choose to travel around the world, or I may find a place deep in the mountains to continue practicing. Of course, this is just what he said. In fact, he doesn't know what the situation will be like in half a year. He originally thought that practicing on Blue Star would be extremely difficult. But after this period of time, he discovered that if he used the power of cause and effect to practice, his speed would be much faster than in his previous life. He even suspected that according to the current speed of cultivation, he might be able to return to the immortal world and ascend to immortality in half a year. Naturally, everyone didn't know that Yang Lin was already thinking about ascending to immortality. After nodding, Boss Yang suddenly continued. By the way, didn't we talk about setting up a pharmaceutical company together before? I've already asked a friend of mine to help with it. Now we are short of a company name. As the company's major shareholder, you can come up with the name. Suddenly hearing Boss Yang's words, Yang Lin remembered that he seemed to have given her the formula of Yuyan cream to take care of on his behalf. Come on, a name. Since this company's main business is medicine, why not call it Yuding Fang? Before Boss Yang and the other two could realize what the special meaning of these three words was, Yang Lin took out another piece of paper from his sleeve. If it only sells Yuyan cream, then the company's products are still a bit too single. Pandeo has another prescription here. It's a low-end version of the Dragon Spirit and Tiger Pill. It's called Huan Yang Powder. It's specially formulated to regulate the male body. It should also be included in it. And when these words were presented in front of the audience through the camera lens on the side, the audience also completely exploded. Did I hear you correctly? Is Yang Lin going to do business in partnership with Boss Yang and the other three? Jade Beauty Cream. This name sounds familiar. It's the same ointment that was applied to the disfigured girl's face last time. I heard that the scar on her face has completely healed, and her skin is much better than normal. Oh my god, is Yang Lin ready to put Yuyan cream into production? If it is true, then I am really looking forward to it. Hurry up and put it into production and then go on the market. I can't wait. If the effect is the same as what the girl used before, I will get a loan and buy it. Indeed, as an ordinary girl, I am already ugly. Looking at it this way, is this Yuyan cream the low-end version of the Ice Muscle Jade Bone Pill that Boss Yang bought for 80 million? Even if it is only 1/20th of the effectiveness of the Bingji Jade Bone Pill, I will still buy it. What I'm more concerned about is what he said later, Huanyang-san, who sounds very powerful just by his name. The low-end version of Dragon Spirit Tiger Pill, my god, I am finally saved. Stop the ink. Register today, build the factory tomorrow, and go public the day after tomorrow. Don't you just want money? I'll give it all to you. There is no doubt that both men and women in the live broadcast room are completely stunned at this moment. Boss Yang on the other side also showed a solemn look on his face after receiving the formula. She could imagine the sensational effect that Yuyan cream and Huanyang powder would have when they were launched on the market. She has even begun to consider whether to put down her acting career and concentrate on running these two products. After all, everyone can see that these two products will completely occupy the two major markets of beauty and healthcare in the future. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q in Love is. Chapter 147. This special birthday dinner lasted until 10 o'clock in the evening. For Yang Lin, this was just an ordinary dinner, but for the three bosses, it had a completely different meaning. Until he returned to the room, Lu Tianxian was still immersed in the shock of the special birthday gift just now. On the other side, Boss Yang and Reba have already fantasized about becoming the richest women in the Dragon Kingdom in the future, and are completely obsessed with money. At the same time, Longguo's internet also ushered in a new round of hot topics. There is no doubt that all hot content today is still exclusively provided by Yang Lin. From giving feng shui guidance to Longguo Petrochemical and Transportation Management Bureau in the morning to meeting with the gambling king of Ao Island in the afternoon. Then he meets a mysterious corpse hunter on the road and solves the strange porcelain case. Even the long dress presented at Lu Tianxian's birthday party shocked half of the fashion industry and attracted countless designers in the industry to marvel. Every incident is enough to occupy the headlines of an entire entertainment page. Even the sensation he caused the day before had not completely subsided. As for this situation, both netizens and marketing accounts who make a living by editing various hot news events have become accustomed to it. It was at this time that the official website of Come On Workers also released the income status of each artist today. Without any surprise, one day later, Yang Lin once again topped the revenue list. And the amount once again exceeded 100 million. When such a simple statement was released by the program team, it once again attracted countless comments from netizens. It's terrible, it's terrible. This revenue capability is almost as big as that of a large company. I have finally seen what a humanoid money printing machine is. Yang Lin's total revenue should be almost 400 million. I earn more than the program crew, which probably even the program crew themselves didn't expect. If he hadn't been younger than me, I would have recognized him as my adoptive father. Now I just want to know whether Yang Lin is Quan Zhen or Genji, and whether he can get married. Facts have proven that side hustle is still more profitable than main hustle. Is there a possibility that Yang Lin's main job is to be a Taoist priest, and his side job is to be a star? I have packed my luggage and will go up to the mountain to learn Taoism tomorrow. There is no way to make money in my career, only learning Taoism is the right way. Wake up, do you have a graduate degree? You just want to be a Taoist priest. What's wrong with this? If he helps the gambling king succeed tomorrow, he will get even more. Yes, when I said that, I remembered that he seems to be helping the king of gamblers find seeds from the dragon's lair tomorrow. As the night gets darker, Many people are already looking forward to tomorrow's show. Early the next morning, when it was just 6 o'clock in the morning, Yang Lin, who was sitting cross-legged on the sofa, suddenly opened his eyes. Then he gently exhaled a breath of white breath, which rushed out several meters away like a sharp arrow, and did not completely dissipate until it left a deep mark on the carpet in front of him. This Gangold sword chi should be refined in a few days. I hope that during this trip to search for the dragon, I can find fine gold or red copper in the mountains. As he spoke, he slowly stood up. Just after he finished washing up, a hotel staff knocked on his door. Taoist Yang, Mr. Sheng is already waiting downstairs. Hearing the hotel staff's words, Yang Lin nodded immediately. 5 minutes later, when he arrived at the hotel lobby, Sheng Tianlong's figure appeared in front of him first. Beside him were several other young and middle-aged men wearing black tunic suits who looked extraordinary. Needless to say, Yang Lin also knew that these people must be the bodyguards invited by Sheng Tianlong. Just as he was looking at the people on Sheng Tianlong's side, Sheng Tianlong also greeted them enthusiastically. "Daozang Yang, I will trouble you more today." After speaking, he introduced the entourage beside him. He first pointed at one of the young men with his back raised and a stern look on his face and said, "This is Mr. Long Wu, my personal bodyguard. He is proficient in various fighting skills and wilderness survival skills. He once served in the British Special Forces and founded the famous Scorpion Tail Needle mercenary group. He is also the chief instructor of the Dragon Blood Bodyguard Company. He will be responsible for our security work this time." When introducing Long Wu, Sheng Tianlong's face was full of pride. But think about it, being able to hire such an elite talent to be your bodyguard is also a symbol of strength. But just when he was introducing Long Wu to Yang Lin, the stern young man known as Long Wu suddenly felt as if he had been bitten by a beast, and the hairs on his arms stood up unconsciously. When he looked for the source of this sense of danger with doubts, he discovered that Yang Lin, not far away from him, was looking at him with a smile on his face. Suddenly, he felt horrified. Unconsciously, he remembered the adult Bengal tiger he had encountered in a death training camp when he was young. He felt this way when he met the Bengal tiger during wilderness survival training. But what he couldn't figure out was why the man in front of him was just a little Taoist priest with a kind smile, why he felt like this. Before Long Wu could figure it out, Sheng Tianlong introduced another person next to him. "Taoist Master Yang, this is Master Huang that I invited from Xiangjiang. Although he does not know as many secret techniques as you, he is still quite accomplished in Feng Shui. This time he may be able to help find the dragon veins." Upon hearing Sheng Tianlong's introduction, a middle-aged man with black-rimmed glasses and a skinny appearance smiled at Yang Lin. I don't know why Yang Lin always feels that Master Huang is quite afraid of him. As for them, I invited them to escort us this time. After all, we may go deep into the mountains and forests this time, and we don't know what kind of dangers may be hidden there. After Sheng Tianlong introduced his entourage, he turned his attention to Yang Lin again. "Daozang Yang, I wonder what kind of preparations you have made this time and whether you need to prepare anything." As soon as he said these words, Yang Lin immediately shook his head. "You don't need anything. I have already brought everything I need to bring. In addition, due to special reasons, I need a few of them to come with me this time. Mr. Sheng shouldn't mind." While talking, several people from the program team appeared from the side. Judging from the excited expressions on their faces, they are also full of expectations for this dragon hunting journey. Also full of expectations are the hundreds of thousands of viewers in the live broadcast room. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 148. Dragon veins and dragon caves have been recorded throughout the history of the Dragon Kingdom. Many legends revolve around the two. And looking for dragon points is an extremely mysterious thing for ordinary people. So this time Yang Lin took the old gambling king to search for the dragon's lair in person, which naturally aroused the interest of the audience. Even some netizens who didn't pay much attention to this show were attracted to it. At the same time, Yang Lin and others also took cars to Jinghai's out-of-city expressway. As soon as he got in the car, Sheng Tianlong couldn't wait to ask Yang Lin. "Taoist Master Yang, I don't know where we are going this time. Do you have a goal, Taoist Master?" Hearing this question, Yang Lin, who had been closing his eyes to rest, immediately opened his eyes. But before he could speak, Master Huang took out a book and pointed at a yellowed map on it and said, "My ancestors once discovered several dragon caves in Yangjiang, and they are close to Nanlong and have many branches. How about we go there?" As soon as Master Huang said these words, Sheng Tianlong looked at Yang Lin again, as if waiting for Yang Lin to make the final decision. What he didn't expect was that Yang Lin took out his mobile phone from his sleeve. After some operations, the satellite cloud image mode of the evil map installed in the mobile phone was opened. I saw him scratching at the map a few times and then shaking his head. "I'm afraid your local book is an old thing from decades ago, and those dragon lairs are probably already damaged by now." As he spoke, he pointed to a place on the map and said, "This was originally supposed to be an excellent dragon's cave, the cave of Zhengshao, but now there is a quarry not far from this place. The mountains and rivers have been dug out, and it has become a wasteland. The water here is surrounded by mountains, with a green dragon on the left and a white tiger on the right. However, due to flash floods, the river has changed its course and the pattern has also been destroyed. Although this is a dragon riding cave, a wind power station was built above it, turning it into a cave." Listening to Yang Lin's analysis, Master Huang was dumbfounded for a while. He first looked at the book on the ground passed down from his ancestors in his hand, then looked at the satellite cloud map in Yang Lin's hand, and finally let out a long sigh. Sure enough, times have changed. If there were artifacts like satellite cloud maps in the early days, it would be easy to find the dragon's acupoints. After sighing, he immediately shamelessly approached Yang Lin. "I dare to ask, sir, where do you think we should go this time?" As soon as he finished asking this question, Yang Lin pointed to a place on the map and said, "If I read it right, this is a righteous cave. It condenses the energy of the entire dragon vein. It is an unprecedented and best dragon cave. If you can choose to plant your health foundation here, it will be easy to extend your life by 10 years, and it will also further boost your luck. However, this dragon's cave is hidden and not visible. It must be waiting for the Blessed Master. If Mr. Sheng is not the Blessed Master, I'm afraid we won't be able to accurately locate the dragon's cave even if we get there." When Yang Lin's words fell into Sheng Tianlong's ears, his eyes immediately burst out with excitement. "Since the Taoist master has said so, let's go here and take a look. Maybe I, old man, will be the blessed one." Seeing that Sheng Tianlong was already eager to give it a try, Yang Lin did not raise any objections and immediately made the place he had just discovered the first destination of his trip. And this location is surprisingly located in Shaanxi County, known as the 100,000 Mountains, in western Guangxi, 500 kilometers away from Jinghai. It is also a famous nature reserve in Longguo, with rolling mountains and rivers inside and few people visiting it. Just 4 hours after they made their decision, the convoy arrived in Shaanxi County. Then the car drove for more than an hour before arriving at the outskirts of the nature reserve. Looking at the towering mountains in front of them, everyone present and the audience in the live broadcast room felt their eyes brighten. These days, all filming is done in Jinghai City, and the audience is already tired of watching it. Now that they came to this beautiful nature reserve, they were naturally overjoyed. "Wow! The scenery here is really beautiful. I must travel here if I have the chance." Indeed, Northerners say that it is rare to see such a series of mountains connected one after another. It is so magnificent. No wonder this place is called the 100,000 Mountains. There must be more than 100,000 mountains here. You can imagine how difficult it is to find the dragon's lair in these mountains. It doesn't matter. Yang Lin is a professional. It's easy to find the dragon's lair. As a local, I just want to say that your thinking is too simple. Most people don't dare to enter here casually. The old people in the village used to say that there are monsters in this mountain. Monster? Don't be ridiculous. How could such a thing exist in the world? TCH, I'm not lying. It is said that when it rains, there will be strange noises inside, like thunder or a cow's braying. When I was a kid, I collected firewood there and encountered tigers there. No kidding, everyone was scared to death at the time. There are still wolves in there. Damn, it sounds so scary, but Yang Lin and the others probably won't go deep into the universe. While the audience was talking a lot, everyone present was already ready to enter the mountain. The group of people led by Shen Tianlong immediately took out outdoor equipment specially designed to prevent bites from snakes, insects, rats and ants, as well as mountain climbing equipment from the accompanying salutes. Even Shen Tianlong himself changed into an outdoor outfit and had an extra hiking pole in his hand. After he put on his equipment and looked at Yang Lin and the program team, a look of surprise appeared on his face. Because until now, Yang Lin and the others were still wearing the same outfit they wore in Jinghai. The members of the program crew even had large swaths of skin exposed. They didn't look like they were going into the mountains, but rather like they were going on a trip. Taoist Master, are you planning to go into the mountains like this? There are many poisons and dangers in the mountains. Faced with Shen Tianlong's question, Yang Lin first glanced at his Taoist robe, and then at the clothes of several members of the program crew. There seems to be something wrong. As he spoke, he took out 6 yellow talismans from his sleeves and handed them to several people. Put this talisman close to your body, and there should be no problem later. After hearing Yang Lin's words, the program team took the yellow talisman without thinking, and then put it into their clothes carefully. Seeing their behavior, Shen Tianlong and others on the side seemed to be incomprehensible. And the field experts and bodyguards who were invited by Shen Tianlong with a lot of money shook their heads. You dare to enter the mountain at will with just a few talismans. You are really ignorant and fearless. But what happened next surprised them. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 149. Half an hour later, Yang Lin and the others officially entered the Shiwen mountain. According to satellite cloud images, they need to climb more than 10 peaks to reach it. As soon as they entered the mountain, they immediately felt a completely different change. The first thing to change is the temperature. Due to the high mountains and dense forests, the temperature on the mountains is at least several degrees lower than outside. Feeling this temperature change, Shen Tianlong and the others immediately felt grateful for the decision they had made before. And the wilderness survival expert who was responsible for clearing the way in front looked at the program crew with a look of gloating. But what surprised him was that the members of the program crew, who were obviously wearing short-sleeved shirts, showed no signs of being afraid of the cold at all. Not only did they not feel the cold, but they were in the mood to take pictures of the mountain scenery. What's going on? Aren't they afraid of the cold? Or are they trying to hold on? Humph, just wait, you will suffer later. After muttering to himself, he walked to Shen Tianlong with a flattering look. Old Shen, based on my years of experience in surviving in the wild, there should be a lot of leeches and snakes ahead. But you don't need to worry. I have my special medicine here. As long as you apply it on your body, those things will not dare to get close. As he spoke, he took out a small glass bottle as if offering a treasure, and took the initiative to apply the brown ointment on Shen Tianlong's skin. At the same time, he also enthusiastically helped other people accompanying him to apply. But when it was the turn of the program crew, the ointment in the bottle was just used up. Faced with such a result, the wilderness survival expert quickly pretended to be embarrassed. "It's unfortunate that we only brought so little this time, but you just need to follow us." After saying that, he ran to the front of the team again. Several people in the program team didn't care at all. Because just after they entered the mountain, they felt that there seemed to be an invisible medium in their bodies. Not only did it block the cold, but even those tiny reptiles took a detour when they saw them. They knew without thinking that this must be the effect of the talisman Yang Lin gave them before going up the mountain. Just as they were busy looking around with their cameras, Yang Lin's voice came again. "Just follow Pandeo later. Don't run around even if you encounter great danger. Do you understand?" Although I don't know why Yang Lin suddenly said such a sentence, out of trust in Yang Lin, the program team nodded immediately. At this moment, bursts of exclamations suddenly came from the front of the team. At the same time, there was a sound of rushing. Following the sound, I saw that a few people in the front of the team seemed to have touched the bushes on the roadside, and their bodies were covered with a large number of leeches. That strange scream was caused by the leech that scared them. And the appearance of these leeches is just the beginning. After that, all kinds of weird poisonous insects and snakes would fall from the trees overhead from time to time. There are even poisonous mosquitoes the size of a thumb flying everywhere. They walked a few hundred meters of road for more than 10 minutes. Fortunately, they had covered most of their bodies with protective gear in advance, otherwise they would have been bitten by bugs long ago. But even so, Shen Tianlong and the others were in extremely miserable condition. On the contrary, even if the program crew members following Yang Lin were dressed in casual clothes, not a single poisonous insect or mosquito came near them. Even if a venomous snake or something accidentally falls at their feet, it will still walk around them. At this moment, they seemed to be taking a walk. When this scene fell into the eyes of the bitten Shen Tianlong, he immediately remembered the ordinary-looking yellow talismans given by Yang Lin before. Unable to bear the frightening feeling, he immediately ran to Yang Lin's side shamelessly. "Daozang Yang, I would like to ask if you still have the kind of talisman you had before. Can you?" Before he could finish speaking, Yang Lin took out a yellow talisman from his sleeve that was exactly the same as before. Just when Shen Tianlong was about to take it, Yang Lin spoke. "A gift of 500,000 yuan. Hearing Yang Lin's words, Shen Tianlong was stunned for a moment, and then he could only nod his head. When this scene was presented to the audience through the camera lens of the program team, the audience could not hold back any longer. It made me laugh so hard. The gambling king's money is easy to make. A talisman costs 500,000 yuan. Tisk, 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 the unit price is more expensive than diamonds. Drawing symbols can make more money than releasing an album. I'm just asking you if you want to buy it. If I were this old man, I would also buy it. If I don't buy it, the mosquitoes will bite me to death before I can find the dragon's lair." People from the north dare to ask, "Are all the mosquitoes in your south this big? I just want to know how this talisman is drawn. I really need it because I have a mosquito-like constitution." Just when the audience lamented that it was too easy for Yang Lin to make money, Shen Tianlong, who got the yellow talisman, also carefully placed the yellow talisman close to his body. The next second he immediately felt the changes brought about by Huang Fu. He immediately tried to take off the heavy protective clothing on his body. Seeing this scene, Long Wu, who was protecting him personally, was about to stop him when he saw a leech that had been attached to Shen Tianlong fall off of him on the spot. What's even more incredible is that the poisonous mosquitoes that originally circled around Shen Tianlong seemed to have lost interest in him at this moment, and flew to the bushes nearby with a buzzing sound. At this moment, it was as if an invisible barrier had formed around Shen Tianlong. Upon seeing this, Shen Tianlong's old face was immediately overjoyed. Although those outdoor equipment could protect his safety, the feeling of being neither breathable nor sweaty almost cost him half his life. Now that all the problems have been solved with just a yellow talisman, how can he be unhappy? Taoist master, you are truly a god. This 500,000 yuan is so worth it. When other people around him heard Shen Tianlong's words, they couldn't help but look at each other. Most of them came from overseas or from Hong Kong and Macau, and their understanding of Yang Lin was naturally very limited. They only learned from Shen Tianlong that Yang Lin had great magical powers, but they didn't know exactly what kind of magical powers Yang Lin had. Previously, they thought Yang Lin was too young, so they didn't take him too seriously. Now they are inevitably less contemptuous. After the shock, everyone continued to move forward. Half an hour later, when they passed a valley, a cloud floated in the distance. Seeing this cloud, Yang Lin immediately said, "Don't go any further, it's going to rain ahead. And it seems that a flash flood is about to break out here. For safety's sake, let's find a place to take shelter from the rain." Suddenly hearing Yang Lin's words, everyone's faces showed doubts. Because it was noon, the weather was fine, and the scorching sun was above their heads. It didn't look like it was going to rain. As for flash floods, it is even more nonsense. There wasn't even a puddle within a kilometer of their surroundings, so how could a flash flood break out? Just when everyone expressed doubts, a muffled sound suddenly came from the other side of the valley. If you listen carefully, it sounds like thunder or the braying of a cow. Before they could figure out what the sound was, a strong wind blew in the valley. Suddenly heavy raindrops fell to the ground. The rain was so rapid that I had never seen it in my life. While Shen Tianlong and others were still soaking in the rain, Yang Lin had already taken several people from the program team to hide under a large protruding rock. At the same time, his eyes were firmly looking into the valley. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 150. It rains so quickly. Yeah, it's so strange. Even in the mountains, the weather changes are not so exaggerated. The sun is still hanging in the sky. Looking at the heavy rain falling in front of them, Shen Tianlong and others, who were all wet, had confusion and emotion on their faces. At the same time, they also remembered what Yang Lin said just now. 1 second Yang Lin said it was going to rain, and then it started raining. It was even more accurate than the weather forecast. Just when everyone's eyes unconsciously turned to Yang Lin, who was sitting under the rock, the sound of rumbling was heard again in the distance. At first, everyone thought it was thunder, but when they looked in the direction of the sound, their eyes immediately widened. Less than 100 meters away from them, an earth dragon composed of mud, gravel, and dead branches came from the mountain with a sweeping momentum. Both boulders and trees along the way were directly washed away. Behind this earth dragon is a rolling torrent, as powerful as a hydropower station opening its gates. But in the blink of an eye, the flash flood rushed straight from the low-lying area not far in front of them. If they had hesitated for a moment, they would have been swept away by the flash flood. Thinking of this, everyone couldn't help but have a layer of white hair sweat on their bodies. After barely controlling his emotions, Shen Tianlong quickly came to Yang Lin's side with a respectful look. "Daozang Yang, thank you so much. If it weren't for you, the consequences would have been disastrous. I just don't know how you can tell that there will be a flash flood here." Hearing Shen Tianlong's question, Yang Lin looked away from the distance. "Nothing, just some ordinary mountain viewing techniques. This rain won't stop for a while, so just wait here." After saying that, he suddenly stood up. Seeing his appearance, Shen Tianlong immediately wondered. "Taoist priest, won't you wait with us?" "No, Pandeo found something interesting up there, and I'm going to go take a look." Before anyone could ask what he had found, Yang Lin walked out of the rock in front of everyone and stepped into the rain curtain. "This Sheng Tianlong was just about to get an umbrella for Yang Lin, but before he could take out the umbrella, Yang Lin's figure had already disappeared into the clouds and mist in the mountains. And as soon as Yang Lin left everyone's sight, he jumped onto the big tree nearby. Like a spiritual ape in the mountains, it can cover a distance of tens of meters in one step. In less than 5 minutes, he had crossed a dozen miles and arrived at the end of the previous valley. Before he was even close, an unpleasant earthy smell hit his face. It's exactly what I thought. This rain and flash flood didn't happen out of thin air. Smelling the lingering earthy smell in the air, Yang Lin raised the corner of his mouth slightly. At the same time, a little white snake that was sleeping in his sleeve suddenly came out, as if it had sensed something, and its ruby-like eyes glowed with a coquettish light. Just at this time, a green pool appeared not far in front of Yang Lin. Of course, Yang Lin's focus at this moment is not on this pool, but on a stone next to the pool that exudes silvery white light. There was a faint charred black color on the rocks that had been struck by lightning. In an instant, his originally ancient and unwavering face showed a look of interest and excitement. It turns out to be a Gang gold mine. How can there be such a grade of mineral in this world? Did it come from outside? With this piece of Gang gold ore, my Gang gold sword chi will be completed. As soon as he finished speaking, he flew straight towards the edge of the pool of water. But when he flew above the pond, a huge black shadow suddenly jumped out of the dark green pond. It turned out to be a big black snake with a coxcomb on its head. The big snake was more than 10 meters long and as thick as a sea bowl. When it jumped out of the pond, it was like a big iron rod. It bit Yang Lin directly with its bloody mouth. Faced with such a situation, Yang Lin, who was in mid-air, did not panic at all. With just a wave of his sleeve, an invisible force hit the big snake. And this big snake, which weighed several hundred kilograms, was knocked aside by him on the spot. After it landed, a pair of big cold eyes immediately looked at Yang Lin with vigilance, as if to warn Yang Lin not to approach its territory easily. But how could Yang Lin care about the warning of a big snake? He gently pinched a sword secret with his right hand, and the sword behind him made a clear sword cry. I thought it was difficult for you to practice, so I didn't kill you. But if you don't know how to advance or retreat, I wouldn't mind using you as a sword sacrifice. Following Yang Lin's loud shouting and the roar of the sword like a dragon's roar, the previously ferocious black snake suddenly lowered its head in a hurry as if it had been greatly frightened. Seeing its appearance, Yang Lin nodded first, and then continued. You have a snake crown on your head. I am afraid you have acquired the dragon energy of mountains and rivers. But you are destined to be unable to transform into a dragon in this world, but it is somewhat possible to transform into a dragon. Suddenly hearing Yang Lin's words, a hint of understanding appeared in the eyes of the big black snake. At this moment, Yang Lin took out his sleeve again and tore out a broken page. This is a fragment of the Dragon Transformation Sutra handwritten by a poor Taoist. You can use it to understand. In addition, there will be a heavy rain at midnight today. You can use the rain and floods to go down the Yangjiang River. Your chance to become a dragon is there. After saying that, he placed the broken pages of the Dragon Transformation Sutra in front of the big snake. The big snake seemed to realize that this was a good thing, and immediately kowtowed to Yang Lin 3 times like a human being. Then he bit the remaining pages of the Dragon Transformation Sutra with his mouth and turned back to the pool. After he left, the rain in the mountains suddenly weakened a lot, and even the flash flood stopped. But at this moment, Yang Lin couldn't care about this anymore. He looked straight at the Gang gold ore not far away. When he got closer, he immediately sat down cross-legged and at the same time started the method of cultivating Zhengjin sword energy. The next second, a large amount of golden light spread out from the Gang gold ore the size of a quick millstone. As Yang Lin breathed and breathed, all these golden rays of light were sucked into his lungs. I don't know how long it took, but these golden lights turned into tiny golden air swords. and the Geng gold ore that originally shone with strange light made a clicking sound after being absorbed by the golden light, and turned into a pile of waste. Feeling the changes in his lungs, Yang Lin couldn't help but spit out a white and gold chi sword. As soon as the air sword came out, it immediately galloped towards the dense forest ahead, cutting off all the branches no matter how thick it went. When the air sword flew to the cliff not far away, it immediately blasted a big crater into the cliff. The huge sound could even be clearly heard by Sheng Tianlong and others more than 10 miles away. In an instant, they made a bold guess.